going to feature some workplace, toxic workplace, transphobia, and even a lot of gaslighting and also a lot of manipulation. Also, the person who's been discussing about her experiences has also got a disclaimer saying that she wants to emphasize that I highly discourage any form of targeted harassment against the individuals involved in these recordings. Her goal is the opposite of that, and it's my hope that by sharing this information to the public in this format, the corporate policy at this company will improve to avoid the repeat events that she is about to share. So, yeah, so that's basically it.
Right.
So, oh gosh, I think I need to deal with the graphic. But anyway, now the special topic that we're going to go through is the trans experience at Zenimax. What happened is that a trans woman has been working at Zenimax for about a reasonable amount of time, for years. She's been working on assets that, based on her portfolio, is for Elder Scrolls Online. Like the portfolio end of her video, which shows all the interesting stuff she worked on. And it doesn't seem to illustrate whether she's been working in Starfield or something like that. But she basically, it was a 4-hour video where she discusses about the harmful experiences she experienced, and even felt really emotional after a lot of toxic managers been mishandling her at the workplace and even held things to ransom. But rather than go through 4 hours worth of content, we'll just go for the notes here, which has been shared in the description of the video. So if I can get it on the description of this podcast, then you'll get to check it out. So what happened is it's been posted 2 weeks ago. Jim Precision, hosted by Stephanie Sterling, has been brought up about this whole thing and uses it to say that it's the most important Starfield video, even though it's just more related with her works on Elder Scrolls Online. She's been really bitter towards the Microsoft deal and tries to shame the companies to a huge extent. But you shouldn't really dismiss the fact that this work in particular has suffered horrendous abuse of the workplace, and it's just like many of the companies there. But as a trans person, it is really bad to hear all this, and it's not really great. So I thought we need to bring this up on it, because I feel this is pretty much going to bring out to say about the working environment in I think it was in Zenimax and those like that. So I'm just going to go through the description there. So in this video, she started with a screenshot of the messages from the manager that she received sack that she's outed, that she's been outing her doing the group meeting with her teammates. So yeah, she's been outed as a trans girl doing meetings. And when she's trying to get over there, she didn't seem to be aware or whether she's aware of those kind of things. It just seems as if it's bad, because in Japan at the moment, I think if I'm correct in reading it, that it's actually illegal to out someone at work in terms of sexual orientation and gender identity. So in this one,
Japan.
Yeah, that's right. So therefore, what the manager's doing is actually kind of illegal. And besides a lot of the stuff that she's been saying in the video, if it's in the UK, that's against the Equality Act because of this whole abuse thing. Also, there's another note there saying, her manager does not take her inconsistent work photo issue seriously, which is not good. Also, she's been told that she needs to be given stricter work expectations due to FMLA. I don't know what's that.
I don't know what that is. I was going to ask you what that is.
Her manager assumes that her FMLA is for the surgeries, and after probing the details to why she is submitting the forms to Human Resources, it gets suggested that her role will be downgraded from mid-level to the associate due to the upcoming medical leave. Yeah, it's bad. because I think one of the commenters did say that, like, I used to be really a top A student in college and doing so good, but when I answered as trans, teachers started to hate me and I got grades lowered. So yeah, it's just definitely like transphobia and this kind of things going on. So it's terrible.
Not good.
Also, there's another one where she gets pressured to not return to work early from the PTA, which turns into a conversation about why she needs to be assigned unique assignments from the rest of the team, and ends up being asked how much work she would take over on the upcoming weekend. She then tries to explain to her manager for the second time how devastating it was that she revealed to her new work photo before she had her opportunity, cancelling the meeting that they agreed on, where she would have a platform to come out on her own terms. And then she got pressured to come out by Slack messages instead. Oh gosh. But it's just got, I think I would just sum it up with some of the points there, but because this is really bad. Because when she changed her name, probably through deed poll, she wants to be identified with this name. But according to the messages she left in the summary, that her name is not being reflected in the records, and managers been using it to blame her for trying to screw up the system by changing her name and expects her to use her dead name.
Right, okay. That's fucked up. Sorry, it's really hot here if I'm wondering why I'm using a wet wipe, because it's really warm.
That's okay.
But yeah, keep going.
Then she had, so it just leaves she had another discussion with the manager's boss about the certain event that he was present for. And one in particular is discussing a name change in a group discussion, which some of you had never interacted with her and were not aware that she was transgender. Which then leads to the final conversation that she had with the manager and the new producer, where she was trying to address ongoing issues that she had been logging on. For 3 months, she kept hitting roadblocks for losing access to tools due to her name change, and nothing seemed to fix it. She displayed the series of screenshots of the login issues, which then, not annulled, but her portfolio website has been blocked off the company's firewall after she updated her name and the URL.
Okay.
Then the head of human resources have asked her that I don't understand the fear of being out to the public. Aren't you already out? And then she had to explain to them that being transgender is not the same as everybody knows that you are trans. So then, when she contacted the corporate human resources at Bethesda, they responded by viewing me as a liability. They used her upcoming surgeries as leverage to release them from the potential discrimination lawsuit by promising to pay her Cobra premiums, but only if she signed a resignation agreement with them. So there's a lot of really bad stuff going on with it.
It's not good. So, because obviously we've been talking for months about Activision having really bad, business practices inside treating their staff really badly. Turns out this is happening in Zenimax as well with certain employees, which is not great. I'm hoping this is only I don't want it to happen to anyone, obviously, but I was going to say I'm hoping this is just like a one-off thing or something, but it sucks no matter what if it's this person, we hope that this all gets resolved. It's not a good look for Microsoft, definitely not, and they need to get this fixed. They need to sort this out. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing to hear this stuff, to be honest. I feel like we're in the 21st century. This shouldn't be a problem. I don't understand. But, there you go. Sucks.
Yeah,
no,
I think I also like to say that I have experienced transphobia at workplace too, where customers have have been transphobic to me. I've been I don't know, I don't remember the situations I've been dealing with it, but also with my autism and I have how much I have to bottle it up. It's just I get discriminated regardless. And it just seems like I had to go through really bad experiences because I'm autistic and trans and been dealing with a lot of bad experiences there. So I could definitely how she feels. And to be honest, it is a very poor performance to dealing with by Zenimax and Professor. So I think coming out of this, I really do hope they have to update their policies and learn from these events because she wants them to improve. She enjoys making assets for games like Elder Scrolls Online, and I think it's particularly important. But at the same time, I think it just kind of increases the guilt to any like Zenimax game. Like I think of as if people are like going to share this story and like disencourage people from like playing Starfield. I can say to you that I'm still intending to play Starfield, but I don't really want to go as far to like hugely supported by a huge amount. And I know it's wrong for me if I were to play it, but I think it's more important that we have to get the Bethesda and Zenimax like promote this, bring up this message about how the trans woman has been like not treated well in her workplace at Zenimax and working in Elder Scrolls Online and have the better policies there. But at the same time, in America, in certain states, like how laws haven't been properly updated to deal with discrimination because these kind of things, like if it's in the UK or in Japan, the company will be faced with lawsuits because of how badly they treated the trans worker, and it's just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, this is totally wrong, and I don't really like what has been happening to her, so I really sympathize with her. So, and it's just for this reason, it's just like, it just makes me worry about this whole company. And besides, there's even been a culture of like huge corporate companies, like not just like Zenimax, but also like, I think it was like, I remember many others, like with Blizzard, the Activision, and Ubisoft. And not only that, it's just been like misogynist and everything like that. It just seems like it's just like as if they're trying to bring up this culture of like discriminating marginalized groups and not seem to addressing these issues.
I get that, yeah. I was going to say, I don't want to sound like a fanboy because it's going to come across super fanboyish saying it probably, but I do appreciate that Xbox does have women and people of different races and stuff in higher positions in Xbox. It's not all just white dudes, you know. It is quite a variety of people of different races and creeds and backgrounds and stuff in the Xbox hierarchy. I'm just hoping that they can get this all sorted in there. When they get Activision, get that sticked in Activision and Blizzard, and then hopefully go sort this whatever this issue is in Zenimax, you know. And as I said, I'm hoping this is just a one-off thing, and I'm hoping it's not something that happens all the time.
Well,
but it is unfortunate, but it is horrible no matter what, and they need to get it sorted for sure.
I've been saying that Zenimax and Bethesda should really learn from this to improve their policies, and I think that's the aim of this whole video there. Not to like ask people to boycott games because they don't really work, which ironically that's been like mentioned in Inquisition videos too, that boycotts don't work. But I feel that these videos needs to raise the message and try to like improve experience for all workers.
Hopefully the business will get better. I'm hoping that I've got hope that the higher up in Xbox, they have won awards for like good for best workplaces to work for and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they will improve these. You know, I mean, they've only just got Activision Blizzard, so I'm hoping that they will be able to improve it. I don't know.
What we did one of those earlier episodes this year where we talk about boycotting games because of the controversies.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Which you can find on the audio services and YouTube, which you can check it out if you want to find information. But
I talk a lot about that.
But yeah, so I just wanted to bring this out because I feel this is going to be talked a lot about, and I also feel as if people are going to be using it to like shame them. And to be honest, I think it's also ironic because I did mention that after hearing about a lot of controversy of Rooster Teeth and how staff are terribly treated, because this whole experience reminds me of like another trans woman who's been at Rooster Teeth for about many years. Like she came in, she's been like like she's been subjected to name calling, and when she came out as trans, she's been subjected to more transphobia and homophobia, and then she hasn't been paid so much for her work, and she only like said about the tip of the iceberg of all those experiences, and that's combined together with all those other workers. It just makes me think as if Rooster Teeth is not something they can be trusted. But I feel there's likely to be more experiences shared by people who work at Zenimax, and maybe then we just get to a question about the liability of like Zenimax. But yeah, as it stands, the experience shared at Zenimax is still terrible, and I still hope that people would use it to improve the policies at not only Zenimax but every games company. But I feel this is going to be more of a fight than just reminding them to change the policies, because our rights have been like rolled back. We've been fighting for our rights, and this is not limited to society. It's also at workplaces as well, especially the UK, like dealing with the Equality Act and trying to alter it so to work against us. So it's just a very terrible dark age for all of us all around the world.
Yeah, it's horrible, but we need to, hopefully we can get this all sorted. I will say this the other day as well. It is sad to think that pretty much everyone I looked up to or I liked or something turns out to be an asshole. There's so many people out there who don't realize what they're like in real life, and it's very sad. Let's try and move on to something a bit more positive now, because that was a bit of a downer, and hopefully they'll get this sorted and we can have more positive news going forward. I hope, fingers crossed. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube, and follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.